Welcome! Thanks for clicking on this video. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to rank all 8 teams in the Atlantic Division, where I think they'll finish at the end of the season, starting with number 8, the Buffalo Sabres. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, right? Yes, Eichel is still up in the air at the moment of this video. They're selling off their players left, right, and center. But Granato took over the coaching reins, has done some wonders with these kids. He's a great development coach. He's already turned around some of the careers of Dahlin and Mittelstadt, for instance. And they've got a lot of prospects in the pipeline. Now, it's going to take minimum 2-3 seasons, maybe even more. And I know Sabres fans are so sick and tired of waiting around for this, but it is what it is. Number 7, the Red Wings. The good news is they've bottomed out. They're only getting better from here on in. Again, another team with lots of prospects and talent coming through the pipeline. Yzerman made some savvy signings in the offseason. Trades, etc. Picked up Suter, Leddy, Nedeljkovic. 2 guesses of what his favorite fabric is. That's right, it's fleece. And not to mention, I can't wait to see what Cider looks like on that blue line, amongst other things. So they were last in the league when it came to offense the past season. It should be getting at least marginally better from here on in. Number 6, the Ottawa Senators. Now, the following 3 teams, in my opinion, are kind of interchangeable. Remember, Ottawa finished last season really strong. They got a great coach. Their top 6 looks really good. And if Pinto could step in and fill that second C spot, he's a high-value prospect. This team could be a really tough out. They could just sneak into the playoffs there. The question is the depth of their defense, right? And then Murray. Is he going to come back to form after 2 or 3 seasons now? I know he put on some muscle. I mean, Forsberg and Gustafsson will be biting at his heels, but Murray's the guy they're paying right now. So there's that. Number 5, the Montreal Canadiens. They've got really decent wing depth. It's center, right? They replaced Dvorak with Kotkaniemi, which is a bit of an upgrade at the moment anyways, but they still lost Danault. If they just kept him, I'd be a lot more confident about this team right now. Not to mention losing Weber, their captain on defense. That's a lot of minutes to replace. Yeah, they got Savard. He'll fill that hole nicely on the PK, but he played a depth role with Tampa. Can he handle, 3+ more minutes a night in a demanding market like his hometown, right? And then Price. He was fantastic in the playoffs, but the past few regular seasons, he's been up and down. And yeah, they've got Allen. Hopefully he has a good season too. And that atrocious power play might be getting better because they also signed a player like Hoffman, who was Mr. PP. That was a bad dad joke. I'm sorry. And then Caulfield and Suzuki. Toffoli, I mean, the power play has got to start clicking at some point, or you start pointing the finger at coaching, right? Number 4, the Boston Bruins. You'll have to take them away kicking and screaming. They picked up some pretty good players. They had a really good offseason. They grabbed Ullmark from the Buffalo Sabres. He was good for them, for Buffalo. On a team with a better defensive system, he should flourish. Not to mention Swayman, the rookie goaltender, who had some great numbers in the last half of the past season as well. That's a good tandem. And then there's Rask. Really come back from his injury come January. Will Boston sign him? For what kind of money? Will they need him by then? We'll see. Then there's the center depth. That's a question mark, right? After Bergeron, at least. Because right now, Charlie Coyle looks like their 2C. Or maybe even Nick Foligno, but probably Coyle. So, what if Bergeron gets hurt? They're poached. And not to mention, he's going to be UFA after this season. So if I'm Sweeney, I'm swinging for the fences. And maybe I look at a guy like Thomas Hertl, make a trade, bring him in. Take one last run at that silver shiny thing. Number 3, my beloved Maple Leafs. Yeah, I'm a tortured soul. I cry all the time. So, again, it's all about the goalies, too, here. Can Campbell play 40-plus games and stay off the IR? Mrazek, good signing, but he's a very streaky goalie. Then there's a loss of Zach Hyman, amongst others. They picked up Richie Bunting for cheap. Maybe one of those guys hits a double, a triple, a home run even. Looking forward to see how they meld. Not to mention Nick Robertson, who could step into that slot as well, but I doubt he'll start with the Leafs. He'll probably, play a lot of minutes in the AHL, perhaps get a call-up sometime in January. And then moving on, there's the third pairing, which could be Sandin and somebody else. be it Dermott or Liljegren, or maybe there's a trade at some point. But between the Leafs and the next two teams, I think these guys are all interchangeable as well. Next, the Florida Panthers. All they needed was a new coach and a new GM and some players, and now they're knocking on the door, aren't they? They looked really good in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. They were a real tough out, even though they had to play 3 goalies to get them as far as they did. And that's, again, goalies, right? Bobrovsky. Is he snapping out of it this year or what? Spencer Knight. Can he continue to play as great as he did towards the end of last season? But he's got a great defense in front of him. Their top 5, maybe even 6, looks pretty good from their forward group. Could we see Lundell in the third-line center spot? One of their top, highly rated prospects who's a great two-way forward. If he starts clicking, man, I could easily see them take first place in this division. And number 1 with a bolt is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, they lost their entire third line and a lot of their blood, snot, and tears that go into that penalty kill. So they lost Savard as well, but Bogosian, he comes in and fills that spot there nicely. Not to mention Cal Foote. Maybe he takes a step forward. Their defense still looks pretty good. And their top 6, Corey Perry, he might be playing next to Stamkos on the second line. We'll see how that goes. That third line should be replaced by Cirelli, Joseph, and Colton. We'll see how they progress in their careers. Not to mention Belmar, who will fit in at that 4C, and the young prospect Barre-Boulet, who should be on that right wing fourth line center spot. This is still a very deadly team. And with Vasilevsky in net, maybe he doesn't play as many games as he might usually because Brian Elliott has come in to play backup, who should be a lot better than McElhinney has in the past year or two. And Bob's your uncle. There you have it. So, just to review, here are my picks from 1 to 8 in the Atlantic Division. But for those of you who have skipped to the end of the video, where do I think all these teams rank? Ottawa Senators, it's their time. The rebuild is over. They're contenders now. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what your picks are from 1 to 8 for the Atlantic Division down in the comment section below. I would love to hear about them and why. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out. Stay tuned. Please be kind to each other out there, and I'll see you soon.